Hello, SOTO Sundays is here, and you're watching SOTO Sundays. um, yeah, hi. Good to see you. I know it's been a good while, and I think my dog wants to get in. Give me a quick second here. Give me a quick second. I am so sorry. I had to get my dog in my home studio. As you can see, there he is. You can kind of see him, right? Um, there you go. What's up, Yoshi? Say hi to the people. Kind of. Alright, yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, he's crazy these days. He's super crazy. But hey, that's fine. Anyways, um, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Um, oh, there he is. What's up? No, you want to come down? Okay, yeah, this is totally unplanned. You want to come back up? Come on, dude. Nope. Okay, fine. Well, hey, you can stay here with me. All right. Anyways, I'm trying to make this episode, but then this guy you know, try to interrupt me. That's totally fine. Anyways, gosh. So let me tell you what I've done today. So I actually recorded a episode as of July 19th before. So this is the second episode that I'm recording on the same day. Um, basically, let me tell you what I'm doing or what I have done throughout the day. So I went to record background vocals for a friend of mine who's having his concert for a band that he formed for 25 years. And he's going to have a special 25th anniversary concert here in California. And today, not too long ago, a couple hours, I met up with him and we tracked a pretty good chunk of background vocals on a medley. And it was a lot of fun. It was funny the way to see how they messed up, including my guy. But it was really, really good, and I had a lot of fun. And oh my goodness, let me tell you what else I've been doing. So, I've been busy with, studio sessions. So, past few days, I had a new client who is also an artist. Well, tries to be an artist. He started doing music in 2023 ish, I think, somewhere around that. And about weeks ago, he released a brand new single, which I'm going to link below in this video. But essentially, um, he asked me if I could be part of and working and producing an EP that he thought it could be a great um, thing to collab. And I told him, of course, absolutely. So I decided to work with him, have a good contract. Um, and oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, dude. Um, but yeah, essentially, actually, you know what? Let me get the chair down because I want to be comfortable. There we go. So, as I was saying, I've started working with him, and he got some pretty good songs. I'm gonna tell you. Of course, Christian songs. He goes to church, and I started doing his first ever song, and it's coming out pretty good. And before him, I actually have a friend that I know already, years down the line, who essentially wants to do an album. So I actually worked with her one time, and so essentially, um, basically, I worked with her earlier this year, and about weeks passing by, she sent me a second demo that she wants to work on. She asked me, "Hey, can I do this and with you?" And I'm like, "Of course, absolutely." And then I don't know what happened, but hey, God be the glory. But essentially, about weeks passing by, she sent me I think like three more demos that she has, three more songs that she has, and she was asking if I could work on those. And about what 2 3 days ago, she sent me another one, another's demo. So all in all, she basically was pointing out to me that she wants to also create an EP. An EP, I'm gonna tell you this: an EP is from 5 to 6 songs. You pass number 6, you go to 7. That's literally the minimum requirement to do. Sorry, to do a album. Minimum 7, all the way to like 12, maybe 14. Not sure, but it takes longer. It takes more than 7 songs. So yeah, an EP is kind of where she's tend to flow. So yeah. Anyways, um, yeah, I'm just excited for this project that's it's coming out. I can't even speak right. Right. I really need to take a rest, honestly. But anyways, back to the topic obsessions. I had that. Then about what is it? Throughout those sessions that I have here in my home studio, I also been working at a studio that I'm interning as well in Visalia to work on an album, a 12-track album for an artist, a local artist in Visalia. And it was funny because it was actually accidental that I got into the album. So I was there at the studio in Visalia doing my regular intern tasks, trying to get things dialed in. That's it. It wasn't until that the owner slash producer slash engineer of the studio asked myself and another intern to help set up the booths, one of the booths, for Scratch acoustic guitars. And if you don't know what Scratch stems or Scratch channel means, it's basically recording instruments as references only. That's not going to be in the track. Well, potentially could be in the track, but only to have it as references, only to help support the background. That's it. So it's not an official recording. It's just to record just for reference. That's it. So when he says Scratch acoustics, I'm like, okay, just Scratch acoustic, just a demo. That's it. It's not going to be part of the album. That's fine. And I was positioning myself, holding the guitar, while the other intern was trying to mic it because the owner was going to play the acoustic guitar. And then, oh my goodness, it's crazy stuff. And then, right after I was about to jump off from the booth, he looked at me in the eye and said, "Can you actually play acoustic? Can you actually do Scratch acoustic?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, and he said this simple sentence that makes me laugh even till this day. He said, "It's okay if you suck, because I can get there and play anyways." And in my head, I'm like, number one, I do not know the songs. So how would you say that I suck if I don't know the tracks? And number two, you think I'm an absolute idiot? Oh, gosh. But seriously, he was wondering if I could play acoustic. And I'm like, okay, sure. So it was just... Sorry, my dog was trying to walk around. But essentially, I track acoustic, and I don't know what got into their minds, but essentially, the moment that I ended with the final takes of acoustic, he literally says, "Juan, I don't know what you did, but these acoustic stems that you tracked, that you played, will end up being part of the album." And I'm like, huh, crazy. And you know what's even more crazier is that he literally says, "I might think of just adding some electric guitars. Would you be down for it?" And at that time, I was having my Helix in my car. I had my Helix in my trunk. Reason being is because I was going to play at a gig afterwards. And I told him that I had the Helix, and he's like, "Bring it out." So I brought the Helix out, put on my signature patch, and I tested, sound check, played it, practiced it, and recorded. And he's like, like his reactions every time that the takes was perfect, he goes like this. That's it. That's literally it. So, it was like He was like, basically, like, I think you can do it because I want to test you. That's kind of what I view from him in his perspective. Like, he kind of want to use me, but also test me to see if I'm right fit for the role. And I'll be honest, I wasn't even thinking of being part of the album. However, I did dream of being involved in projects like that in the studio because it primarily focused on audio. So when I finished the stems, I literally basically um, said, "Hey, I know it's accidental, but God is doing something." And he's like, "Absolutely." And if you don't know, the owner of the studio, his name is Jonathan Hendrickson, and his studio name is called Hendrickson Studios. He's actually, well, used to be a worship pastor at his church before giving the title to someone else that I also know from the studio. So he essentially, full on Christ like man of God. He's an absolute killer of a friend that I get to call him. So the next week comes by, and I had no expectations of recording again. I was just going there to do my regular intern stuff, and then Jonathan comes by, and he said, "Hey Juan, how you doing?" I'm like, "Cool, pretty good, man. I'm having a cool day. That's it. That's all I said." He's like, "Great to hear, because I'm setting up the session and Pro Tools, and the question is, are your calluses good?" And I'm like, yes and no. Why?" He's like, "Well, I kind of figure maybe you could jump on the acoustic booth again." And in my head, I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna be recording again." And he's like, as he was prepping the session before he was about to record, he's like, "All right, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I got there, got my in-ears in, tried to warm up a little bit for both acoustic and electric at the same time, at that same day. That was a week later. That was like early May that started all. Um, and as he saw the results of me tracking and producing at the studio, he literally said, "Juan, if you can potentially tell me your available days to come by to the studio to track acoustic guitars and electric guitars, it'd be wonderful. The reason I say this is because you are going to be part of the album." And I was like, in my head, I didn't know how to react. I was like, "Great, awesome." But then I walked out of the studio, my head was exploded. I had no idea I was going to be part of an actual album. I've done single projects and I've worked with single projects, but I've never been part of or worked on an album, especially an album that has 12 songs. 12 songs. That's it. And I'm like, this is I'm totally dreaming. But I talked to my dad because he's a studio guru. He has a passion for music production and studio work. He doesn't currently do that anymore, but he still has, like um like those passions flowing in his bloodstream, you know what I mean? So, um yeah, that's kind of that. So, it's it's I mean, Dad told me, he said it's real, son. Don't ever lose that opportunity. So I went there from June, yeah, mid May all the way to mid July or early July, I would say. Yeah, early July this month. I finished all the electric guitar tracking for the songs. Now I'm currently on the stage. As of now, even the time recording this episode, I am currently also uh, in the phase to track acoustic. The reason being is because the electric stuff is, more faster than the acoustic, because doing that method, we were actually able to get songs 2 or 3 done. Basically 2 or 3 songs done in one day. So in doing that pattern of just focusing on electric helps with the process flow. Because if we were to do electric and then acoustic, the amount of takes we gotta have, the amount of tuning and maintenance and getting the sound right, we would probably finish at least one song a day. That's it. So it wouldn't be fast to process, and the production flow as well. So we did electrics, and it was so super fast. Now we kind of pinpoint what songs needs acoustic, what does not need acoustic, so I can start off with the tracking process next week. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm currently at. Also, I know this video is gonna be past, but essentially July 26th, which is yesterday. Well, if you're watching this on the 27th of July, I had a drum session. I was able to track and record drums for a good buddy of mine who lives here in my county in California. Was able to record 2 songs that is currently almost done. It's like just the drums and then do final vocal takes, and that's it. He's currently also want to do an EP as well. So, yeah, and also if you don't know, this August 1st is coming out a brand new song. And it's a song that I have the honor and privilege to make, produce, record, arrange, compose. It's incredible. Think of it as like a blend of Lincoln Brewster, right? Lincoln Brewster, phenomenal worship artist, but also just a killer guitar player. Literally, I'm a huge Lincoln Brewster fan. I don't know if you have Lincoln Brewster repeat on Spotify, whatever, but I am a diehard fan of Lincoln Brewster, especially his signature Strat. But yeah, he's incredible. So think of it as a blend of this style, along with I think you can say half elevation worship slash planet shakers, because they still have hype songs. Elevation being with the organ and arpeggiators, but also planet shakers slash Lincoln Brewster to have more guitar presence in the mix. So, and the drums as well. Like these three has some killer drum presence too. So, and my dog seems to be coughing. I do not know why, but he's totally fine. He's actually was sick yesterday, so I spend my time trying to take care of him. He seems to be okay. He's just coughing at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just got back from the recording stuff. So, yeah, he seems to be more energetic. But whatever. He'll be fine, though. Trust me, he'll be fine. But yeah, it's weird because I started doing sessions and production stuff. Well, like 2 years ago, I'd say. So I got this computer that I'm using right now to record SOTO Sundays in 2021. From there, I started using GarageBand as my first DAW, and I had 0 plugins. I did not have plugins from Slate Digital Audio, did not have the Helix Native plugin, did not have Waves plugins, nothing else. Didn't have Logic, didn't have Pro Tools, didn't have Ableton, nothing. Didn't even have the mics too. Now, obviously, this is not my mic, it's a friend of mine. I am borrowing this mic just to help, improve the episodes for SOTO Sundays as of now. It was just bare minimum. And while I could have the money, I could have the advantage to spend and invest on good plugins and good instrument plugins, such as Native Instruments, the Complete Access. I'm sorry, not the Complete Access, the 360 stuff. You got the Giant, you got the Session Horns, and vice versa. Luxa, Utopia, Ignition Keys, whatever. Which are phenomenal. I love their stuff. I started using and learning how to manipulate sends and returns and plugin and then also connectivity on GarageBand as a start of me learning how to create, produce, record, track, all of that. Then I got to a certain point where I'm ready to invest in good stuff. So last year I decided to spend my money on good plugins. I eventually got Pro Tools, which unfortunately it's expired. So I'm currently using Logic Pro for two reasons. One, it's literally easy, and number two, did I say two? Yeah, okay. There you go. Number one, it's easier to navigate because it's literally the studio version of GarageBand, right? And number two, because of the demanding projects I have. I have about more than 10 projects already at the works, and they're not done yet. So for me to get workflow easier and quicker, I'm currently using Logic Pro. But essentially, I started to invest in good plugins, such as Waves, Spitfire Audio, which are really good. Spitfire Audio and Labs, good stuff. Slate Digital Audio, Waves, Native Instruments, IK Multimedia stuff, Universal Audio Spark subscription, which I used to use right before I used the subscription of Slate Digital Audio for the effects stuff. And I got to a point where I tend to learn more about production, that I'm now easier to flow in the production stuff. I'm now making it so much easier because I've now learned techniques, I've learned manipulation, I've learned creativity, and now I'm able to work on projects for others that I know, especially those that I don't know. For example, that artist that came by like days ago, he I met that guy. I don't even know him. And for him to have already the confidence for me to do an EP with him, for me to be the producer of the songs, I felt honored because I don't think I've ever done that. So, music production can be very, very complicated. It can be very tedious because you don't know what you're actually doing. Because first off, you don't know what or how to create. You don't have the right equipment, right? Equipment is expensive these days, but technology has made it easier for buyers and investors to invest in good gear on their bank. So it's easier to access some stuff. They just got to look more detail in their processing power. What are the pros and cons of each individual item based on what they're looking for, and vice versa, such as mics, studio monitors, interface. Those are the essentials you need to record and produce music from your home. And I will say this, for those who does not know how to start creating music from your home, you don't have to spend $1,000 on equipment, on getting good preamps, getting good DIs, getting good high expensive condenser mics like the Neumann TLM 103 or the Shure KSM 353, which is a ribbon mic, super good, or the JZ V67, which is what I have currently as my main mic in the studio. You can actually get good stuff under 1K. I would say get an interface that has only 2 channels and 2 outputs. That's all you need, because with 2 channels, there are 2 things. One, you are allowed to connect 2 things together. So, let's say you have a song already in mind and you want to record with your voice, and let's say you want to connect your keyboard or your guitar. You can connect your mic to input 1, for example, and then have your guitar connecting on input 2 and recognize the inputs on your DAW or digital audio workstation. Like I said, it could be Pro Tools, Logic Pro, FL Studio, Ableton, whatever, or GarageBand. I mean, it's totally free. And just hit record, and it will capture 2 things together. Another reason why it's good to have 2 inputs is because you have a keyboard, and you want the sound to be fuller and almost like mix ready or ready to be mixed. Add some effects to it. You can go stereo, which is essentially the surround sound. And if you don't know, my dog is literally right here. But yeah, just go stereo out from your keyboard, and you can literally get full sound, 360 kind of sound in it. Or, if you have a pedal board that has double output to get the full stereo effects to make it sound bigger. You have the two inputs because they're combi inputs. They can be either used as, quarter inch or XLR. Doesn't matter. They're combi inputs. So whatever the two works out, right? A good budget, friendly audio interface that I would recommend 100% on anybody is the Scarlett 2i2 from Focusrite. It is the number one interface that I would totally recommend for anyone who wants to create music or just want to have a good interface. Because I know interfaces like the Universal Audio Apollo Twin MK2 is like the bomb, or the PreSonus Studio Live 32 channel interface are good, but you can get good stuff, really good stuff with the Scarlett 2i2. What's even crazier is that you actually get free softwares, free plugins once you registered on the Focusrite website. So you can actually get a free piano plugin. You can get a free compressor plugin called the Red Suite plugin, whatever. Has a preamp, built-in preamp, EQ/compressor in it. You get somewhat subscriptions. You get Pro Tools Intro Plus for free. So literally, it comes with Pro Tools, free to get started. You don't have to buy Pro Tools by yourself. You can just get it for free as long as you have the code. And it's just super simple. That it's easier to just connect, recognize the inputs, and then record. That's it. Oh, look at the dog. Aw, come on, man. Anyways, but yeah, I'd say my number one investment is to go check out the Scarlett 2i2. If you're able enough to get studio monitors, it'd be great. That way you can have, surround sound to experiment, and to have this good sound quality. If not, you can just use headphones. Just connect them to the interface on the headphone out, and you're good to go. And mics. There are many mics out there that are really, really good. The one mic I would recommend, and it's in front of me, is the Shure SM7B. It's a mic for everything. It's a cardioid condenser mic. Not condenser mic, a dynamic mic. Actually, it's kind of a condenser. It's two different microphones. They're not the same. I'll explain that in a different video. But basically, you just have to get a DI, or if you get this one specifically, which is the SM7DB, it has a built-in preamp. You just got to turn on phantom power on the interface, bring the gain up, sound check it, make sure it's not peaking, and you're good to go. That's it. It's that simple. Like I said before, this mic is not mine. This is a mic that I'm borrowing from a friend of mine for the remaining episodes for SOTO Sundays. So it has built-in EQ filters. So it has a presence boost, a low-cut filter, and you can have a line level selector. So you want to have plus 28 or plus 18 dB. So depending how loud you want, you can do it. It's just a good mic for everything. So yeah, I recommend going with the SM7B. Like I said, if you're going to the standard, just get a DI or one of these transformers or converters that actually boost the signal, because these mics can be weak. Now, if you have, a vocal mic, a live stage vocal mic like the Shure SM58 or an SM57, then it's just plug and play. No need extra phantom power. No need a DI. You just want to sing to it, record something. You're good to go with those mics because they're dynamic mics and they're cardioid, polar pattern. So they're great. You can get away with these at least, I would say, $300 to $500. $300 to $500, I would say that. And hey, if you're lucky, one of those special deals coming by on the holidays, right? Whether if it's Memorial Day, Labor Day, the Christmas season's coming up, whatever, President's Day, whatever, you can actually get really good stuff for the money. So those are the things that I recommend for those who wants to start off with music creativity, music production, because it's just a lot of fun. But like I said before, It can be tedious. It can be complicated because you don't know what to do. You open up a session for the first time, and you're like, "What the heck am I doing? How do I load up a channel? How do I load up a MIDI channel? How do I even load up the plugin that I like to use? How do I load up, for example, GuitarWorks 7 from Native Instruments, or the Helix Native, which is from Line 6, which is a built-in Helix inside a computer? How do I do that? You know, eventually on my YouTube channel, I will basically kind of demonstrating how to get started creating music on your DAW, and that will be for any DAW. It can be either for Pro Tools, Logic Pro, like I said, Ableton, FL Studio, even GarageBand stuff too. The concepts of creating a track, recording, saving, trim the track, split it, delete the track, are the same things. So one of these days, I'm going to make a video on how to get started with music production and just kind of understand the flow of it. Because if you're one of those people who want to start making music, know it's going to be a pretty big responsibility. Just like my dog, who is right there. Right, dude? Of course. So, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said before, the sessions that I've done weren't the sessions that I have now, because it was just sessions that I have to create beats, creating originals that I was starting to write before. But now I'm doing sessions for other people, and the Lord's just opening up so many more doors, including the projects and the sessions, upcoming sessions that I'm having for Hendrickson Studios in Visalia that I'm an intern at. So basically, I get to work on both worlds, here in my home studio and then up in Visalia. And it's really, really cool. Honestly, I couldn't thank God enough for this opportunity. Only He deserves the glory and the honor and the praise. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because like you always tend to be focused a lot on what's happening. Like the moment you clocked in to a studio, the moment you clocked in for, let's say, a 4-hour session, right? It could be anything. If it could be a vocal tracking session, a drum tracking session, a guitar tracking session, or a mixing session, whatever. You booked the session for 4 hours. And all of a sudden, I will say, you stuck with those 4 hours. But then, what's crazier, you don't actually look at the time. And that's something that my dad have always said to me. And it's so true. Because last October, I tracked drums there for a friend of mine. And it was going to be just a 4-hour session from 10 to 11, 12, 1 to 2 o'clock. We didn't know that was going to take longer the session. And since we were so focused on recording more stuff like acoustic guitar, bass tracking, and vocal tracking, we spent there from 10 all the way to 6 p.m. instead of 2. The session can really take up your mind a lot. So it's important to know that if you're going to do sessions, you're going to start working with people for their music projects, for their records or whatever, you want to first prepare yourself too. You want to first prepare yourself mentally, physically, of course spiritually, right? You want to also expect the unexpected, is what they say. Expect what the studio can say or what can do that is unexpected for you. For producers, for tracking engineers, expect the unexpected, right? All of a sudden, Pro Tools crashes in the middle of a session. You already expect that because it's unexpected. It came out of nowhere, right? Or if the mic went out, right? There's no sound. Expect that because it's unexpected. You record a really cool melodic line, and all of a sudden the mic just cut off. Be like, okay, check the inputs, check the phantom power, check the levels, making sure that it's all good. See where the problem is. So, yeah, and I'm just looking at my dog. You can see here, here's my dog. Oh gosh. So, yeah, but the more you practice of having to maintain yourself, and also, you're also not doing stuff the way how you want it. Expect what the client, the person you're working with, what they're envisioning for. because that's always a thing that I always kind of take in mind whenever I'm working with people. What kind of vision they have for the song that they're working on? Is there a vision and a mission? What's their perspective on the song? And how do they believe that whatever song they have can reach someone else's lives? If it doesn't hit a million, but only hits one, then that one is enough. That's it. So it can be tedious because it's always about the money that's putting into it to get the sessions done. But hey, you're doing it because you love it. You're doing it because it's a passion. And spiritually speaking, you're doing it because it's a calling for you, right? Why do we see Brendan Lake and Phil Wickham on concerts 24/7 or whenever they're working on a new song? Because they're already investing their time, their strengths, their bodies to get things dialed in for the upcoming tours. Like literally, Brandon and Phil have started their summer worship nights tour, and it's crazy. I mean, August 2nd, they're coming into my city, and I'm going to watch them for the first time. Well, I've watched Phil perform before, but I never actually I had never actually viewed Brandon Lake's performance at all. So it'll be my first time viewing Brandon Lake. But I know him already. I know the songs. I know his style. I know the way his records are. I just never seen him performing in a concert. So it'll be my first time, and they're collabing together, so it's pretty cool. Ain't that right, my boy? Of course. So, but yeah, they invested their time to get things dialed in for their upcoming tours, for new songs, new records coming up. They invested their time because they want to serve God, and they also want to be a blessing to people, to those who follow them. And it's not easy to get sessions done because there's sometimes demanded things that needs to be taken action. But if you do it with passion and love, then it'll be a smooth process. Like, I don't take the sessions I had before at Hendrickson Studios for granted. I do it with passion. I do it with a calmful, smooth way. I was able to finish all of my electric guitar stem tracks, and now I'm on the phase of recording acoustic guitars. Ain't that right, my boy? Right, dude? Of course. He's tired. He's super tired. But yeah, essentially, there you go. Essentially, that's kind of like the phase that I'm in. So yeah. Anyways, this is kind of like the video slash, you know, slash topic I want to say. So if you know me, and if you know why I don't post a lot of covers, it's because I've been busy with a lot of studio sessions. But hey, nonetheless, I have saved a couple of cover videos to upload. So expect the good stuff coming in for the upcoming weeks. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for sticking around. I hope this finds very intriguing for you. It finds this very inspirational for you. And if you have any questions about studio tracking, music production, whatever, let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer as much questions as I can. But thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate you a lot. Be a light to the world, because he is the light. And I'll see you next week on SOTO Sundays. Take care.